What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping back into Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. As we jump into the Monsterverse, we are picking up with issue number 2. Issue number 1, it really showed us how this all happened. Lex Luthor and all the villains getting together to break into the Fortress of Solitude. When they did, Toyman found the magical Dreamstone, having the ability to alter reality to your wishes. Toyman wished for all of these new toys to make their way to the Justice League universe. And it left us on a huge cliffhanger with Superman facing off against Godzilla. And before we get into this issue, I do want to let you guys know that on Friday, we have one heck of an interview. We are going to be chatting with the one and only Rob Jefferson. Many of you know him as the voice of Comics Explained. I have been wanting this interview ever since this channel first started. He has been one of the biggest inspirations for my channel's existence. So I'm super stoked for it. Make sure you guys tune in Friday, 5 p.m. Central. And so make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you like this video. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, we are picking up exactly where we had left off. Godzilla confronted by Superman. And Superman is trying to talk with Godzilla. Not even sure if this thing can understand him, not even sure if Godzilla can be reasoned with at all. But he wants to make the effort. He tries to let Godzilla know that your presence is a danger to the people of Metropolis. He wants to take this fight somewhere else, or whatever this might be. He wants to get away from the city, but the way that Godzilla begins to stare at him, as we see that blue power charging up, Superman knows what he must do. This is where he goes in and he uppercuts Godzilla. With Godzilla taking this hit on the chin, Superman goes to grab his tail and drag him out of the city. But in doing so, this is where Godzilla's tail, it whacks Superman and it sends him flying through buildings. As Superman gets to his feet, gets his bearing, having the arrival of the Flash, evacuating as many people as possible, we have Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Green Arrow. They are all hightailing it to Metropolis. They don't know what they're about to face, but what they do know is that Superman said it is a big problem. This is when Cyborg gives them all an update. Godzilla is not the only monster that has made its arrival. A giant arachnid going to Central City, a giant winged bat-like monster going to Gotham, and a giant mammoth-like creature headed to Themyscira. We have 4 monsters of the Monsterverse, each of them arriving at the same time that Godzilla did, each of them now attacking their own individual cities. And so Superman gives the order to divide and conquer. Batman in his Batwing, he is taking off, calling in the Bat family. Hawkgirl is headed directly to Superman. The Flash, Green Lantern, and Supergirl, they are going to Central City. Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, and Wonder Girl, they will deal with Themyscira. And of course, Batman and the Bat family have Gotham covered. But Cyborg heads off to Gotham to give some assistance. While all of this is transpiring, we have Wonder Woman and Green Arrow that are flying over the ocean. As they do so and they get to their location, what they find is that there is an island in the middle of the ocean that should not be here. Quickly deducing that maybe this has something to do with all of those giant monsters. Wonder Woman has to get to Themyscira, and so she leaves Green Arrow behind on this deserted island. For Green Arrow, this is obviously not that big of a deal. This is not the first deserted island that he has found himself on, but he's about to investigate. He's going to figure out what the heck is happening, what is this island all about, and is it connected to the monsters? Wonder Woman not sure when she will be able to return. We see her take off. This is where we pick up with Lex Luthor. Not even sure how he arrived here. He knows that it has something to do with Toyman, but he's gonna have to put that to the side just for a moment, because outside his window, there is a full-scale evacuation of the city with a giant monster that is fighting Superman. And so Lex Luthor heads down to the bunker to get a full download on everything that is transpiring. As we jump back into the streets of Metropolis, Superman is doing everything he can to lure Godzilla away from the city, trying to get his attention, trying to get him to follow him, but he's simply not listening. This is when Hawkgirl comes in and she tries to hit Godzilla, but even hitting him as hard as she can, he barely flinches. As we pick up in Gotham, the giant creature flying around, terrorizing everybody and everything. As the Batwing begins to open fire, we see the creature begin to take the shots, but it does almost no damage. And when the monster attacks, we see that it has Sonic-like powers, as the Bat family does everything they can to lure this monster away. Down on the ground, the Bat family is doing everything they can to save the innocent and get them out of the city. This is where Jason Todd decides he's gonna take a shot at this monster. Having such tough skin, he thinks maybe I can shoot it in the eye and take this thing down. And everybody tells Jason not to do this. Batman, Dick Grayson, Babs, the whole 9 yards. Even Cyborg is letting him know that we don't know what that'll do. Wait to fire until we have some kind of scan and know its weakness. But Jason does not hesitate. He pulls that trigger and he takes the monster's eye right out. Unfortunately, it doesn't take the beast down. Using its sonic voice, it attacks Jason Todd, being blown off of the ledge that he is on. Had it been not for the arrival of Black Canary, all of this rubble would have decimated everybody below. But with her scream, she is able to disintegrate every single bit of that concrete, turning it to nothing but dust. This is when Babs comes up and she punches Jason Todd in the face. She knocks him clean out. Really, it's just everybody upset at Jason for not doing what Batman told him to do. But with the arrival of Cyborg, they begin to create a sonic amplifier. They are going to use this for Canary. They are hoping to take the sonic blast and reverse it back to the monster, hoping that his power is also his weakness. And so with Batman being the diversion, letting the monster take him out of the sky, as Batman free falls through the air, his parachute opening up, this is where we have the arrival of Canary and Cyborg, using the other Batwing and one of the engines after it has been modified. As it amplifies Black Canary's powers, she screeches at the monster, and we see this creature fall from the sky. The monster of Gotham has been defeated. Meanwhile, we pick back up with Superman, Godzilla, and Hawkgirl. With them continuing to fight on, we see Hawkgirl knocked from the sky. But luckily, Shazam comes just in the nick of time, grabs hold of her, and sets her down. With Shazam and Superman now teaming up together, they go to face Godzilla, and this is when Godzilla opens up his mouth and he sends out a blast. Superman, using his heat vision, he sends it right back. These two forces now clashing together. Shazam thinking that I've got to do something. I have to find a way to help out Superman in this situation. And so he goes on top of the head of Godzilla and he yells, "Shazam!" With that lightning bolt coming down, landing right on the head of Godzilla, he begins to fumble. He begins to walk back. But it was not enough to put him down. With young Billy falling from the sky, Superman grabbing hold of him. Billy is saying that that was awesome. But Superman says that it was too risky not to do it again. Now turn back before something bad happens. Before that can even happen, before he can say the word Shazam, Godzilla is sending another blast. Superman covering Billy up. He takes the full brunt of Godzilla's energy. And we see Superman begin to fall from the sky. Superman landing on the street. Billy by his side, it would appear that Godzilla has defeated Superman. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright, so not a bad issue. We get to see a little bit of what's going on. We see that Batman is the first one to take down his monster, and I guess that's no surprise. But having the mind of Batman and Cyborg together definitely gives you an advantage over Superman, who is just punching Godzilla, hoping that he can push him away from the city. But we gotta give Superman a little bit of credit. He is just trying to save people. He's not necessarily trying to hurt hurt Godzilla, and that is always our hero's downfall. Whether it be a monster, a villain, or anything in between, the heroes always get the short end of the stick. This is because they have the obligation, or at least feel like they have the obligation, to not only defeat the enemy, but make sure that everybody is protected. That's the only way Godzilla even got a hit on Superman. At least a hit devastating enough to put him down. It was his instinct to save Billy's life. This is what made Superman take such a heavy blast from Godzilla. And now he finds himself pretty battered, pretty beaten, and in fact, he is even bleeding. But now that Batman has taken care of his monster, the Bat family and Cyborg can all head directly to Metropolis to give some assistance. This series has been a lot of fun, seeing our monsters, seeing our heroes, seeing how each of them would handle these different situations. 2 issues in, and man, I cannot wait for more. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything going on with this story, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.